And I also hope that you are having an amazing day so far. All right, so for today, we will be doing our grade 3 English lesson on sentence types. And before we start with our lesson on sentence types, we're going to log in to aplusstudents.ca, and then we're going to log in with our username as well as our password. All right, so once we've logged in with our username as well as our password, we are going to select the subject of Language Arts, grade 3. All right, so um, once we have selected our subjects, the chapter that we're going to be doing today is sentence types. So we're going to go and click on the chapter of sentence types. And under the chapter of sentence types, we're going to be focusing on the lessons of: is the sentence a statement, a question, a command, or an exclamation? Is the sentence simple or compound? And we are going to create compound sentences. So that is going to be our 3 focus lessons for today under the chapter of sentence types. So under our chapter of sentence types, we're going to be focusing on the lessons of: is the sentence a statement, a question, a command, or an exclamation? Is the sentence simple or compound? And we're going to create compound sentences. All right, so before we start officially, okay, we are starting officially, but before we start officially with our lessons, right, all of our lessons are, or let's say today's lesson is going to be done on aplusstudents.ca. So if you do want to go back and go over the lessons again, we are doing it on aplusstudents.ca, where you'll be able to access the lessons again. All right, so with sentence types, right? The first lesson is the sentence a statement, a question, a command, or an exclamation, right? And with sentence types, there are 4 different types of sentences. So under sentence types, there are 4 different types of sentences. And with the 4 different types of sentences, right, we have a statement, we have a question, we have a command, and we have an exclamation, right? And with a statement, right, a statement is like just telling someone about something. So statement is just telling someone about something. And the statement sentence, it ends with a period. And then we have a question, right? And a question sentence is where you are asking a question. And the sentence, when you're asking a question, the sentence ends with a question mark. And then we have a command, right? So command. A command is either where you are making a request or you're telling someone to do something. And with a command, most times a command ends with a period, right? Which is a full stop. But unless the command shows strong feeling, right? Unless it shows strong feeling, then it ends with an exclamation point. And then lastly, the 4th type of sentence is an exclamation sentence. An exclamation sentence, it is showing strong feeling. It's like expressing strong feeling or surprise or excitement, right? And ends with an exclamation point. So that is our 4 different types of sentences. And during the course of our lessons, we are going to go deeper into what a statement, question, command, and exclamation is with a few examples. And with the 4 different types of sentences, right? Each one of these sentences, they serve a purpose. So with a statement, if you're just telling someone something, right? It's like saying, I love my teacher. It's just telling someone something, finish, period. Right? You do not expect a response. You do not expect somebody to say anything back. Right? It's just me telling you that I love my teacher. That is a statement. Then with a question, right? It is asking a question. And when we ask a question, right, then you expect a response. And an example of a question is, how old are you? So if somebody asks you, how old are you? Then you will maybe tell them their age. I am 8 years old. I am 9 years old. Or you will basically tell them how old you are. Or what is your name? My name is Jade. My name is Anna. My name is Annabelle. Right? So you'll basically say what your name is. So with the question, you need to, or the next person need to respond by saying whatever the question is or responding. And then with the command, right? We see that with the command, it is basically telling someone to do something. It's like saying, close the door, tie your laces, do your homework, right? So that is a command, right? It's like telling someone to do something. Read chapter 1 by next week. So your teacher is telling you that you need to read chapter 1 by next week, or read 2 pages in the whichever book by tomorrow. That is a command. It's like somebody telling you to do something. And then an exclamation, it shows either strong feelings or surprise, even excitement, shock, anger, right? And with an exclamation, your sentence ends with an exclamation point. So if somebody is crossing the road and they're not even looking left or right or left again, then and they don't see the car coming on or bicycle or any vehicle coming on, and you're trying to tell them to, you're trying to alert them, then usually you're not going to say, Jack, there's a car. You're not going to say it in that voice because the car is speeding. So you're going to say it with, with more, with a stronger feeling. She'll be like, Jack, get out of the way. Or there's a car. Watch out. Stop. Right? So those are examples of exclamations, right? Also with an exclamation, it is showing surprise, right? If somebody is way younger than what you are in your class, you are only 6 years old in grade 3. Wow. Right? You have the new PSP, right? That is showing strong feelings like, wow. Or you can be like, today's my birthday. So you're all excited and you're telling your friends. That is also an exclamation. So that is the 4 different types of sentences. We have a statement, a question, a command, and we have an exclamation. And like I said, during the course of this lesson, we are going to explain it more into details. All right. So let us go into our first lesson where it says, is a sentence a statement, a question, a command, or an exclamation? So we already explained the different types of sentences, but we are going to go over it again. So there are four kinds of sentences. A statement. And a statement is a sentence that tells about something. And with a statement, it always ends with a period. And a period is a full stop. And an example of a statement is, I have an older brother and a younger sister. Right? You cannot choose to respond to whatever this person is saying. Right? So I have an older brother and a younger sister. So with an exclamation, okay, before I go to the question that is being asked, right, let us first go to our different sentences. And then when I come to exclamation, I am going to say, why stop? Then we have a question, right? And a question is a sentence that asks something, right? So you're asking something, you're asking a question. And a question always ends with a question mark. It ends with a question mark. How tall are you? How old are you? Where are you going? And then we have a command. And a command, it makes a request, right? And with making a request, it is also telling someone to do something, right? You're telling someone to do something. And with a command, it usually ends with a period, right? Period being a full stop. Or if the command shows strong feeling, it ends with an exclamation point. And here we have two examples of a command, one ending with a period and one ending with an exclamation point. So read the first chapter by next week, right? That is your teacher telling you that you need to read the first chapter by next week. It's a request. But now, if we are showing strong feeling, right, we can say, look out for that car. So they're telling you to look out for the car, but with more feeling, right? And you'll also hear the tone will change. Now we have an exclamation, right? And an exclamation is like a statement. And an exclamation, it shows surprise or it shows strong feeling. And with an exclamation, it always ends with an exclamation point. That is an exclamation point. So, when an example of an exclamation sentence, right? Some whales are over 90 feet long. So this is like showing like you are so surprised. It's like, oh, wow. So sometimes even if you just say wow, right? It has an exclamation point. Some whales are over 90 feet long. So you are surprised, right? Because you didn't know maybe the whale was that big. Yes, I knew the whale is big, but it's over 90 feet long, right? So that shows like total surprise. It can also show excitement. I can't wait until tomorrow. Or tomorrow is my birthday, right? These are all showing, or these are showing strong feelings, right? So if we now go back to the question that is being asked about why stop. So the same as me saying wow with the exclamation mark. If someone is crossing the road and a car is coming down the road speeding, right? But they're not seeing the car coming on. You're not going to tell the person, stop, don't go over the road. Look, there's a car coming, right? You are going to, if the person is already like about to cross, then you're like, stop, right? So that is why I'm saying it depends also on the tone of your voice, right? So it shows strong feeling, right? So stop. And that is, for example, if somebody's maybe they're not watching, they're going or walking without looking around, right? So sometimes, even if you just say, there's a car coming or something, that can also end with an exclamation point. So that is why we say stop. So stop with an exclamation point. So stop, right? It is your tone also changes. But if you're just going to say stop, then stop is, it's not going to be the same as showing that exclamation. It's not the same as showing that strong feeling, right? All right. So now we are going to say what kind of sentence this is, right? Wow, the hawk's wings are amazing. So, wow, the hawk's wings are amazing. And if we look at that sentence, right, it ends with an exclamation point. So it ends with an exclamation point. So now we need to say if this is a statement, a question, a command, or an exclamation. Wow, the hawk's wings are amazing. And it ends with an exclamation point. So now we need to say if this is a statement, question, command, or an exclamation. And in this case, it is an exclamation. And it ends with an exclamation point. So this is an exclamation sentence. All right. Please close the curtains all the way. Please close the curtains all the way. We now need to say what kind of sentence this is. Is it a statement, a question, a command, or an exclamation? Please close the curtains all the way. If you look at the different kinds of sentences, right? A statement, right? A statement, it ends with a period, right? A question ends with a question mark. A command either ends with a period or an exclamation point. And an exclamation mark ends with an exclamation point. So if we have a sentence, right? So if we have a sentence that says, please close the curtains all the way and ends with a period. To make it even more easier, right? We now need to look at the 4 different types of sentences. 2 of these types of sentences ends with a it ends with a period. right? Which is a statement and a command. But a statement, it tells us about something, and a command is telling us to do something. And if you look at the sentence, if you read the sentence again, it says, please close the curtains all the way, which means that this sentence, it is someone telling someone to do something. It tells someone to do something. And if it tells someone to do something, then this is a command. It is not a statement. This is a command. It is telling someone to do something. Don't forget to brush your teeth before bed. Don't forget to brush your teeth before bed. And it ends with a period. Is this a statement or a command? I'm specifically just asking if it's a statement or command because both statement and a command ends with a period. Question ends with a question mark, and an exclamation ends with an exclamation point. An exclamation ends with an exclamation point. So don't forget to brush your teeth before bed. And this sentence is a command. It is basically telling someone to do something. It's more like reminding them, but telling them to do something. Don't forget to brush your teeth before bed. And this is a command. All right. So that is a command, right? And before we go on to our test, right, we see that there are four kinds of sentences, which is a statement, a question, a command, and an exclamation. A statement tells us about something and it ends with a period. A question, it asks something and it ends with a question mark. Always. A command, it either makes a request or it tells someone to do something. And it either ends with a period or it ends with an exclamation point. It ends in an exclamation point if the command shows strong feeling. And then we have an exclamation sentence, right? Which is like a statement, but it shows surprise. It shows strong feeling, shows excitement, even sometimes shows when you're angry. And this ends with an exclamation point. All right, so now we're going to our test, right? And we now need to say what kind of sentence is this? We need to say what kind of sentence is this? Wow, the hawk's wings are amazing. Is this a statement or an exclamation? And look at the end point, right? It's an exclamation point. Wow, the hawk's wings are amazing. We need to say what kind of sentence this is. Is this a statement or is it an exclamation? A statement or an exclamation? All right, so if we look at our sentence, right? Remember we said a statement ends with a period, and an exclamation ends with an exclamation point. So this sentence, wow, the hawk's wings are amazing. It is an exclamation. All right, so it's an exclamation. Where did you find that key? Is this a question being asked or an exclamation? Where did you find that key? We now need to say if this is a question or an exclamation. And this sentence, it ends with a question mark. A question mark. So we need to say if this is either a question being asked or an exclamation sentence. All right, so the sentence, right, it ends with a question mark. And a sentence that ends with a question mark or that asks a question is a question sentence. Remember, a question sentence always ends with a question mark. Always. All right. Are you getting sleepy yet? And it ends with a question mark. So if this kind of sentence a question, or is this kind of sentence an exclamation? Are you getting sleepy yet? Is this a question being asked? Or is this an exclamation showing strong feeling? And the sentence, are you getting sleepy yet? It ends with a question mark. All right, so if you look at the sentence, right, it ends with a question mark. Remember, we said a question always ends with a question mark. I lost my colored pencils somehow. I lost my colored pencils somehow, and ends with a period. Is this a statement or an exclamation? A statement where you are just telling someone about something and it ends with a period, or an exclamation where you're showing surprise, strong feeling, and it ends with an exclamation point. So we need to say which kind of sentence this is. Is it either a statement or an exclamation sentence? And in this case, right, I lost my colored pencil somehow. This is someone just telling someone something, that I lost my colored pencil somehow. And if it ends with a period, and then this is a statement, because an exclamation ends with an exclamation point. All right. Please close the curtains all the way. Is this a command where you're telling someone to do something, or an exclamation where you're showing surprise, or you are showing strong feeling? Remember, we said a command either ends with a period or it ends with an exclamation point, and an exclamation ends with an exclamation point. Please close the curtains all the way. And in this case, this is telling someone to do something, which means that this is a command. It is a request, right? You're telling someone to please close the curtains all the way. So that is a command. All right, so that is it for our first lesson when it comes to sentence. Is a sentence a statement, a question, a command, or an exclamation? Now we're going on to the next one. Is a sentence simple or compound? All right, a simple sentence, right? A simple sentence. We are now going on to our next lesson that says, is a sentence simple or compound? And a simple sentence is a sentence that expresses only one complete thought. So, simple sentence, it expresses only one complete thought. And then we have a compound sentence. And a compound sentence, right, is a sentence that is made up of two simple sentences that is joined, right? It's two sentences that is joined by a comma, and it is joined by the words either and, but, or. So once again, a simple sentence is a sentence that expresses only one complete thought. So with a simple sentence that only expresses one complete thought, right? A simple sentence has a subject that tells us who or what you're talking about, and it has a predicate, which is basically a verb, something that they are doing, that the subject is doing. So that is a simple sentence. But then we have a compound sentence. And a compound sentence, right? It is a sentence that is made up of two simple sentences. So it's two of the simple sentences that is joined by a comma, as well as either and, or it is joined by but, or it's joined by or. So if you join these two sentences, then in the middle of that two sentences, we put a comma, and then we either join it by using the word and, or we join the sentences by using the word but, or we join the sentences by using the word or. And that is a simple and a compound sentence. All right, so back to our tutorial page, right? And we see the simple sentence is a sentence that has only one subject, right? It has one subject and it has a predicate. And if we look at an example of a simple sentence with only one subject and a predicate, right? The pitcher threw the ball to the first base. The pitcher threw the ball to the first base. Remember, we said that it has one subject. So in this case, who is the subject? The pitcher is the subject. And what is the predicate, right? What did they do? The action. They threw the ball to first base. And this is a predicate. So a simple sentence is a sentence with only one subject and a predicate. And there we have an example. The pitcher threw the ball to the first base. There we have our subject, which is the pitcher. It's who or what we are talking about or doing the action. And then threw the ball to the first base. That is our predicate, right? That shows the action that the subject did. Then we have a compound sentence. This is where the compound sentence comes in now. And a compound sentence is two simple sentences that is joined by a comma, and it is joined by a conjunction, right? And a conjunction is words like and, but, or, so. Those are conjunctions. And conjunctions are joining words. These are the words that you use to join sentences. And if we look at an example, right? The pitcher threw the ball and the batter hit it, right? Here we have a simple sentence, that's one. Without even using the conjunction, here we have another simple sentence. And in this word here in the middle, and is our conjunction that is joining these two sentences. So the conjunction is joining these two sentences. And remember, we said that it is too simple. A compound sentence is two simple sentences that is joined together. Here we have the first simple sentence, and a simple sentence has a subject, which is the pitcher, and a predicate, which is through the ball. And then we have a second sentence, right, which we have the subject, which is the batter, and we have the predicate, which is hit it. All right. And we see that the words, these two sentences are joined by the conjunction, which is and. So the pitcher threw the ball and the batter hit it. Some simple sentences have a compound subject or a compound predicate, but they are not compound sentences. Like, for example, Anna and James will watch the fireworks tonight. Simple sentence has a compound subject, which is Anna and James, but this does not make it a compound sentence, right? They just have a compound subject, which is like mentioning two people's names, which is Anna and James, but it is not a compound sentence. The singer bowed and walked off the stage. In this case, a simple sentence has a compound predicate, right? Bowed and walked off the stage. Compound predicate, where there are two different predicates. Bowed and walked. It's two actions. Then some simple sentences have introductory phases, but they are not compound sentences. So they have introductory phases, but they are not compound sentences. For example, the introductory phase is part of the predicate. In the winter, Farmer Ben wears his heavy coat. So in this case, this is a simple sentence, right? And we have our one subject, which is Farmer Ben. The Farmer Ben is our subject. And then we have our one predicate, which is wears his heavy coat. You can either say wears his heavy coat, wears his heavy coat in the winter. All right, so now we're going on to our test, right? Where we're going to say is the sentence either simple or compound. So now we need to say which sentence is a compound sentence. Is it the first one? Dad took the last chair, so you will have to stand. Or tonight the farmers will herd the cattle into the barn. So, which one is a compound sentence? Is a dad took the last chair, so you will have to stand, or tonight the farmers will herd the cattle into the barn. We need to say which one is a compound sentence. Remember, we said a compound sentence, it is two simple sentences that is joined by a conjunction, firstly a comma and then a conjunction, which means that we are choosing option 1, which is dad took the last chair, so you will have to stand. Which is a simple sentence. Remember, we said a simple sentence has one subject and a predicate. Wilson can iron this shirt, or he can wear a different one. Or that wool scarf looks soft and warm. So is it the first one? Wilson can iron the shirt, or he can wear a different one. Or that wool scarf looks soft and warm. We need to choose which one is a simple sentence. And a simple sentence, right, with one subject and a predicate is, let's choose the second option, because the first one has got two subjects, two predicates. Which is a compound sentence? The parade usually goes downtown, but the route may have changed. Or is it the cook tastes too much salt in the soup? The cook tastes too much salt in the soup. So, which is a compound sentence? All right, so which means that we're going to choose option 1. So, if you said option 1, then well done, because it is two simple sentences joined by a comma and the word and a conjunction, which is but. So the parade usually goes downtown, but the route may have changed. And then the last one, which is a compound sentence. Which is a compound sentence? Fresh English peas are delicious with butter and salt. Or is it you are welcome to come over, but I need to study? We need to say which one is a compound sentence. Remember, we said a compound sentence is two simple sentences that has a comma and it is joined by a conjunction. So the two sentences are joined by a conjunction, either the conjunction and, but, or so. So which is a compound sentence within these two sentences? We will say it is the second option. You are welcome to come over, comma, but I need to study. All right. Did I choose that? I don't even remember now. All right. So that is our lesson on our chapter on sentence types, right? And the lessons that we went over, we didn't even get to creating compound sentences, but we were able to identify what compound sentences are. But in our lesson today, we did sentence types, our chapter sentence types, and we focus on the lessons of is a sentence a statement, a question, a command, or an exclamation. And we said a statement sentence is where you're telling someone to do something and it ends with a period. A question is asking a question, which ends with a question mark. A command is either a request or it's telling someone to do something and it either ends with a period or an exclamation point. And then we have an exclamation sentence, which shows surprise or strong feeling, excitement, anger, right? And it ends with an exclamation point. And then we also went over, is a sentence simple or compound? And a simple sentence has one subject and a predicate, right? So subject, it tells us who or what is doing the action, and then the predicate is, the action that is being done by the subject. And then a compound sentence is two simple sentences that is joined by comma as well as a conjunction, which is either the words and, but, or so. So this is now the end of our lessons, grade 3 on sentence types. Thank you very much for joining our class. Thank you for being interactive. Till next time, have an amazing evening further. Goodbye.